Thank you. So, okay, welcome to this webinar. My name is Torvald Jacobsson, and I'm the director of the Young Masters Program on Sustainable Development, which is the online course that we're going to talk about today. And what we're going to do during this webinar is to, first of all, take you through the procedures of registration and setting up your groups and get started in the program. And then we also want to talk a little about the pedagogical approach and the methods that we are using in the program and what you need to think about when you work as a YMP teacher. I will start with this little picture where we can see a couple of Chinese YMP student groups that are working with the YMP program. And this is the typical situation you have when you are working with a YMP program. Most of the time you are taking the course offline. So most of the activities that our students and teachers are doing is taking place offline. And the reason why it is so is that we are asking our participants all the time to do research in their local communities, in their neighborhood, around the school or at the school, and deliver their findings to the global classrooms that we put up. And the method and the idea behind this way of working is that we want the participants to create a textbook or a learning material of their own as we progress through the course. So when this method is working as it is supposed to work, we are giving the participants a number of questions that we want them to find out more about, but the textbook or the material that we are working with and the insights that we are working with actually comes from the contributions from the participants in the classroom. So that is something that is special. Yes?
Oh, sorry. We have more listeners here, so I'm
okay.
Just going to repeat fast about the technology here. You are all unmuted because of the overall sound quality of the webinar. We need to do that. So there is two means to contact us. The first thing is that you have a little red hand on the GoToWebinar widget. So please push that if you want to talk to Torvald, or you have a little question form where you can pose your questions, and I get it and answer you, or Torvald will answer you. Please continue, Torvald.
Yes. So, as I mentioned, this is something that is special with the YMP, that it is an online program, but most of the online activities has to do with giving feedback to or implementing new things that the students are supposed to do offline. So most of the time and most of the activities are taking place offline. And as a YMP teacher, it's really important that you spend some time with your students and do the disseminations and discussions offline, because that's a really important part of the learning experience, and we will talk more about this later. And the end result, what we are trying to achieve with the YMP program is to make the students so aware and so empowered that they are able to conduct their own YMP projects, their own change projects, where they could, in a small scale, but still in the local community and with local stakeholders, carry through a project that contributes to sustainability. And we have lots of examples of these projects from all around the world, and here you can see 3 of them, from Portugal and from China and from Sweden. and they could be of really different kinds of projects. Some of them are innovations, small equipment or technical solutions to a local sustainability problem. And sometimes they are more kind of social entrepreneurship projects or educational projects. We have all different kinds of projects. But what we really want our students to do, and if they want to have high grades for their YMP project work, is that we want them to contribute to sustainability and change in their local community. Before we talk any more about the course, I will take you through the registration process at the website. And I guess you have all been to the website. If you haven't, it looks like this, but I guess you have, because that's where you find the information about the webinars. When you want to register on this website, what you need to do is you need to click this Join Now button over here, and then you come to this registration mission, or this registration process. And I have prepared I have prepared so I fill in my email here, and then I go to the next step, and then I fill in this captcha. And then I get this prompt: congratulations, the registration is now complete. This is just a registration to get access to the YMP platform. In order to proceed now, I need to go to my email and open up this email that I got from my registration and activate my account. So this is what I do now. And then I need to set a password here. And once I have this password in place, I am able to use the sign in option here instead of the registration option, and sign in with my new password. So I'll just do that. And I end up here, welcome screen. And as you can see, this screen tells me that I've earned my first credits. And that is something that happens all through the course and everything you do on the platform, that you earn credits. Especially if you are interactive, if you do interactive activities like giving comments to other people, contributing in one way or another, friending people, everything that could count as social activity on the platform is credited. So we award people for behaving in the way that we want them to behave in the course, namely to interact with each other, because we want to create international contacts during the course of the education. And the first mission that we are supposed to do here in the course is the mission of setting up our profile to get our personal information in place. So if I invent a person here, I just step through the registration process here. I say that I'm born in, say, 73. And as you can see, as we go forward, the arrows here are filled in, and the active one is deep green, and the one that are completed are light green. And that kind of color code is used through the whole platform. So if something is completed, it's light green, and the active part of the process is always deep green. So here I can choose where I am at, and for instance, if I'm now I'm in Lund, I can search for this city, get suggestions, and here I have one, and that's where I am, Lund in Skåne, Sweden. So I choose that, and I go to the next one, and then I can upload, as you can, I guess this is something you can upload a picture of yourself, but you can also choose an avatar. So I choose an avatar in this case. And then I'm ready for this. So I've completed the mission set up your profile, and I earned 100 new credits. And if I continue from this point, okay, I was kicked out for one reason or another, I don't know why. I think it's the internet here. Hopefully I didn't lose the contact with the webinar. You can still hear me, right? Yeah, good.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard. So then I come to the next mission, which is about the platform, the environment where the course is hosted. And in this mission, we will learn what all the icons are about, and how the platform works. And I mentioned the credits already, but here you get some information about the credit system, so that you earn credits for everything that you do. And the next step, you will learn a little about missions. Everything you do consists of missions. So if every part of the course, every chapter of the course is a mission, every feedback activity is a mission, even printing your diploma is a mission. So that's the way the course works, and it also works in a way like a computer game, in that sentence that in order to open up the next mission, you have to fulfill the first one. So missions are unlocked as you proceed through the course. And the mission that is active right now is to explore the platform, so that's where we are. And the icon for missions is over here. We also have something that we call awards. That is a part of the credit system, you can say. Some of the things that you achieve during the course also give you the right to an award. So already, you can see here, we have earned a couple of awards. We are the member award. We have been registered as a member 7 minutes ago. We have set up our profile, giving us the autobiographer award, and we have also the Pioneer Award. And then we have the icon for the network, and this is where you find all your friends, and also the things that has happened in your network since you visited last time, is something that you can see here in the pop-up window. And then the final icon that shows up here is the inbox, and this is where you can see the messages, your messages. So that would be all. Now we have the full set of icons up here, and this is the credit counter, and this is my personal information and my picture. So that's the platform and the things you need to know to get started. And by fulfilling this mission to learn about the platform, we also earn some credits. So the next mission is an introduction to the course. And I will just go very quickly through this. But here you can learn about the YMP course that you need to join as a teacher or a student, and how you form your groups, because teachers are forming the student groups. Teachers and students are registering on their own. Teachers can register and invite a student, and student can also register and invite a teacher. But in order to form a student group, you need to have a teacher. And we will have a look at how you do this later. So when you come to this is the most important screen, I would say, in this introduction to how you register. Here you need to select teacher. That's the role that you want to have in the program. And in the next step, you have the possibility to choose a school, and you can search for schools in your town here. And we have, as you can see, 2 schools in Lund that are part of the program. But if you cannot find your school, you can start putting in the information about your school here. So for instance, and then you fill in all the information about your school in the steps that follow. But if your school is already there, you can proceed directly to the verify step, and here you find all the information that you filled in the earlier steps, and you just confirm this information and go to the next step here. And when you have done this, your teacher application is fulfilled, and this is where you need to be. This is how far you need to go. At this point, what happens from here is that we are going to check your school, or check that you really are a teacher at this school. And once we have done that, the course will open up for you, and you have the possibility to form your student groups. So we will have a look at what it looks like when you're a teacher in a minute. I just need to pick up a demo ID here. So now I'm logged in as an American teacher. And what you can see here is a number of the icons that we were looking at before. You have them here. And you have a number of menus items up here also. The most important thing here is your student groups. Here you would find your students and the groups that they are in. And this teacher has one student group with 3 students in. And you can sort your students group in they're archived, if they are ongoing, if they are the groups that haven't started yet. And this is also where you invite new students. So you can send messages here through email to a student that you want to participate in the course. And you can also form your new groups here. So you can administrate your groups. So you can add a student to your group already by just, if you had an available student here that was in the queue for participating in your groups, you could just drag and drop that student here. Or you can also remove students here, and you do the same thing. You just move the group member down here, and then they are all gone. So it's very simple to administrate your groups like that. Here you also find something that is called the teacher tools. And this is a very helpful actually, this is where you find all the tools that you need to get help and get through the course. You find a guide, teacher guides for all the learning missions and also for the feedback mission. And you find a number of videos that shows you exactly how to do reoccurring things that you need to know if you want to administer your groups. So for instance, when you invite a student, or if you create a student group, the one that I showed you just a couple of minutes ago, there's a small video here showing you exactly how you invite students. So if you want to create a student group, you see to that you have at least 3 students available for a new group. And you go to the new group button, and then you get up a clean new group, and you can see all your students available up above, and you just drag and drop the students, and then you go down here where you can select a starting date for this particular group when you want them to start the course, because we don't start the course in batches. We start the global classrooms when we have groups from enough countries and at the dates that the teachers had selected. So you can find a number of similar videos here on the things that you usually do when you manage your groups. What you also find here is the full content of the whole course. So here you can see all the chapters, and you can go into any chapter here and read the text before your students do it. So this is really helpful if you want to prepare. And you also have information about all the missions and suggestions for activities that you can do offline with your students in connection to this particular mission. So this is a very good resource for your offline dissemination of the online activities. It's also a good possibility for you to prepare and have more information than your students in order to guide them and coach them. I just want to show you also that the platform is working really well with Google Translate and the tools for Google Translate. So everything translates when you use Google Translate. If, for instance, if we compare here what it looks like when we go to the information here about the course. You can see that if we do the same thing in this Chinese version through Google Translate, everything goes Chinese, not only the texts, but also buttons, and everything is Chinese. And this is, of course, helpful also for teachers, and because sometimes even if the English is not, or the translation is not perfect in any way, through Google Translate, it is most of the times helpful to have the possibility to have a look at the content and the instructions in your own language, if you need to figure it out or see before you decide to participate. So that is a helpful feature. Okay. Do we have any questions about this? Because then otherwise I think I'm going to leave the platform for the time being.
There seems to be no questions here.
Okay, good. So this is a glimpse of the platform again, exactly where we were before, and this is what a global classroom looks like. And here you can see the groups that are in the classroom, where they are situated around the world, in Africa and China and America. And you can see some statistics about the classroom, the members, and how many assignments that have been posted, and the feedbacks that have been posted. And then you have the wall, the classroom wall, and this is where you find the information on what has been going on lately in the classroom. And there's also the dialogue between the members of the classroom. It is taking place here. You also have the schedule, where the missions are lined up, and there is a date telling you when you are supposed to have fulfilled that mission, if you want to be on time. And when you are doing the course as a student, this is what the course window looks like. So here you can read the text, and you step through the text with this little cursor down here. And then in the next step, you go offline and do your research activities in the real world outside your school or outside the web. And then you post your findings to the global classroom. And in the last step, you verify the posting, because you do it on behalf of your whole group when you post. So this student is from Poland, as you can see, and there are 3 members in the student group, and they are on time. We go to the calendar, and there is a new mission that has opened up, and she just achieved a new award. So this is what it looks like when you're doing it. So just to repeat or take you through the procedures of getting started. You need to register groups of 3 to 5 students. Must be at least 3, and they cannot be more than 5 in a student group. And you can have as many student groups as you like. So if you have 40 students in your class and you want to sign all of them up for YMP, you have to divide them into 10 or 15 groups of 3 to 5 students in each, and all of these groups will be then be allocated to global virtual classrooms. And the system is trying to distribute your students as much as possible. So if the number of students in the queue is big enough, all of your student groups will be placed in different global classrooms. And the reason for that is that we want the contact between your class and the world to be as big as possible. And it also means that all of your student groups are in different global classrooms, and they have slightly different experiences and contacts when they come back to the local classroom for dissemination. Really important part of your work as a teacher is to discuss the learning activities and findings with your groups, and most of the learning time takes place offline. So, and that is something that is done by the local teacher. So we are not expecting our local teachers to hand over their students to us. It's actually the other way around. Our teachers, the YMP teachers, are really active online and offline. Offline with their own students, and online with the students from other parts of the world. So there are feedback missions for teachers. We are using our teachers for giving comments online and so on. And we also give certificates to our teachers based on the activities they have done over the calendar year. And these certificates, the grade of the teacher is partly based on the activity online. So we really want our teachers to be active online. And the learning activities and the findings that you do offline, they are posted in the virtual global classroom. So there is a constant switch between online and offline. And the offline activities typically take place outside of school. Feedback is provided by peer feedback and feedback by teachers, and also feedback from tutors and alumni students, and from admins here at the YMP team. But we have systemized this in a way that all activities, everything you post on the platform, will be given feedback from at least a number of other groups and teachers and people that are active in the course. If you fulfill all your learning activities, you can receive a YMP diploma, and you can follow how this YMP diploma is updated in real time on the platform. So you can see new items that you have done, new missions that you have fulfilled, showing up on your YMP diploma. And when you have fulfilled the course, you have the possibility to print out your personal diploma. You have also the possibility to continue the course after the basic missions and do project work. And if you do that, you are also able to get the higher grades of the diploma, and you are also sometimes invited by us to other exciting possibilities like scholarships, award, participation in follow-up courses, or invitations to our own events and partner events and more. And we have had students during the last year that have been invited to UN conferences in different parts of the world. For instance, we had students participating in the Rio conference and Stockholm Plus 40 and a number of other activities. So we have, and you can read more about this at the news section at the website. So speaking of the method and the things that we try to achieve with the program, we can say that the typical situation where we find our students today looks like this. We have a local classroom somewhere in the world, and we have a teacher. This is where we find our students. And the possibilities in this for personal communication and deep learning in this setting is quite good, actually, because the teacher can see all the students and have personal contact with them and see if they are following the lesson or not, and if they are catching up. So the interactivity between students and teachers in the local classroom are really hard to match for an e-learning approach, where typically, if you have an e-learning program, students are interacting with their classmates and their teacher through the computer. So that it's a one-on-one experience, and mostly a rather lonely experience compared to this, which is a more social situation and a better setting actually for deep learning and bringing over insights based on experience and learning by doing, compared to this, which is mostly or learning by reading or learning by seeing, one-way communication, and then you check that the student had just understood the message that you try to bring over, but it's not really a good setting for deep learning. But what we want to do is to get out of this traditional e-learning approach and try to add value to this situation instead. And what we think you can do with ICT to add value to this local classroom is actually to open up that classroom to the world and overcome the limitations of the local perspective and the local classroom. So we want to give that opportunity for students all around the world by creating a global forum or a global classroom where they all can meet. But we want to do this in a systemized way, not just having this open platform, because the experience is that if it's too open and too loosely organized, interaction is not really taking place in the way that you would like it to happen. So what we do is that we give all the students from different parts of the world a similar task based on a sustainability challenge or a solution that has been discussed in the course. And we ask them to go out in their local environment and see what this challenge looks like where they live, or if this solution has been implemented in their city or their village or their country. And also discuss if it hasn't been implemented, the reason why it is so. So here the students come back from their research activities in different parts of the world, and they have different perspectives, different findings, and they compare notes. And by doing that, they realize that things that are taken for granted in their own country or in their local community or in their city are totally different in a different part of the world, or they could be really similar. For instance, when students from big cities around the world compare notes on environmental challenges, big cities, especially in developing countries all around the world, they are facing exactly the same problems. It doesn't matter if it's China or Africa or South America. Air pollution is a big problem in all the cities around the world. So similarities are also really interesting and helps the students to get this big picture that we want to convey. That all these problems that we are discussing are part of a bigger picture. And this big picture is transferred not through a textbook, but by eyewitness stories from people that are the same age as you and that have done the same mission that you have. It is a much stronger way to bring over that message compared to reading it in a textbook or seeing it in a video lecture online. So that's what we try to do. But it's not only an open forum and comparing notes, and so we also, there is a quality aspect to it. It is competition between the different groups. We want to promote good research and good presentations of the findings. So groups are compared and they get feedback, they get ratings, they get appreciating from their fellow groups and from other teachers around the world and from us. And based on that feedback, they are rated, and so groups are also compared. So it's a competitive part to it. And this is where the credit system kicks in, and this is also something that you can see, especially students in, for instance, in China, or Chinese students, they are really hunting all these credits that they can get by being interactive and posting really good assignments to the platform. So that is an important part of the learning experience also. And there is also qualitative progress through the program. We are starting the education with really simple parts of the environmental and sustainability challenges, simple environmental problems. And then as we progress through the course, we add complexity. So we are talking more about sustainability in a economical, ecological, and social perspective, and how you can solve sustainability problems addressing all these different aspects at the same time. So we add complexity as we move through the course. And eventually, we end up in the local classroom with a multitude of perspectives added to the things that we studied in the first place. If it was poverty, or if it was social equity, or if it was environmental challenges or climate change, or whatever aspect of sustainability we were discussing in our local classroom. After the end of the YMP experience, we have so much more stories and experiences to compare with, compared to what we had if it would only be the local group that had been doing the discussions and disseminations in the classroom. So that's what the added value that we try to bring over to the local classroom. And the method is basically a constant shift between offline and online activities, and real-world research and online global dissemination and discussions. That's the rhythm that we have through the course. And as we progress, the complexity of the issues that we are discussing is increasing. What we also want to stress here is the importance of every participant's personal story, perspective, individual contribution to get this process going. In order to form the global classroom, you need all the local voices. That is necessary to have the global experience. So your voice, if you form a group in Poland, for instance, your Polish voice will probably be the only Polish voice in the global classroom. So without your voice, Poland is not represented in the global classroom. So your experience and your story is important for this process to take place. And the same thing when you go back to your local classroom in Poland with the discussions from the global classroom, and when you bring those findings and discussions back to your local classroom. Since all the student groups in Poland, they come from different, they've been put in different global classrooms. Your story is really important for the local dissemination also, because everyone has a slightly different experience from the global classroom. So these arrows represent a unique story that is necessary for the process to proceed. And that is also the reason why students are engaged in this process, because when it works as it's supposed to work, students really feel that their contribution is necessary to get the process going. And by doing this, we can combine a number of strategies, not only learning by we're talking about deep learning here, not only bringing over knowledge, but also encouraging and asking our students to try out and find out how this knowledge applies to the local settings where they live. And we also connect people by working together. Contacts are created, and students are friending each other, and they find each other on social networks on the side of the course and so. And we also push our students to take action, to really use the knowledge and try to set up project works and use the knowledge and their insights in the local community. And of course, the grand vision is to connect developing and industrialized countries and rural and urban communities, students from diversity of cultures and backgrounds and educations together. So altogether, we can see, and research that has been done also on the YMP shows that what we do here is that we encourage innovative thinking and collaborative creativity by applying the big picture to local conditions, and also by trying to go from sustainability problems to solutions. Most of the education, most of the missions are about sustainability solutions. Challenges are something that we cover in the beginning of the course, but eventually we are talking about solutions and how they can be implemented in different parts of the world. And we also can see that we contribute to local capacity building because we impact local schools and communities with effects that goes beyond just the students and teachers that are taking part in the YMP. The methodology and the way of working with problem-based learning and in projects and connecting to the local community and trying to connect the local perspective to global. All this could, of course, be done outside of the YMP, and that is something that happens also in schools that have been part of the YMP. They start to use these methods for the regular educational work. We can also see that it has a lasting impact on the individuals that take part of this course. It really affects their perspectives and sometimes also their future lives when it comes to choice of education and how they see sustainability issues in their professional life. And the grand vision is, of course, to connect, as I mentioned before, all these different parts of the world and different national and local levels and rural and urban areas together and have this multitude of perspectives at the center of the discussion of global sustainability at an early age. Because as we all know, the lack of understanding for the different perspectives from different parts of the world is a key problem when we work with global sustainability from even at the highest political level, like climate negotiations and in the UN. So that is something that we need to establish in a very early age, and that's a part of the YMP vision. So what we want to do is to create this exciting learning network that is comprehensive and also connects people from different parts of the world in an early age, and have it available for free for young people everywhere. And the limitations with the program that we have right now is, of course, that it's open for students that are 16 to 18 years old and that are taking part of education in a secondary high school somewhere around the world, and that have a teacher that is eligible for the YMP. So in this grand vision, we are also looking at the possibilities to open up the course for larger groups of students, perhaps different ages and different also for primary education and students at university and so on. But for the time being, this is what we have and what we are working with. So let's see if we should go back to the website, and let's gonna see if we have any questions, because our time is almost up now. This is me. Just to get this live feeling of being live and show my face.
No,
do we have any questions?
Don't seem to be any questions here. Are you finished then?
Okay. In that case, I guess I'm finished. I just want to point out that if there are questions, a very good place to find information about most of the things that I've been talking about here is in this help section on the website, where we have the frequently asked questions, everything about registration and how the course works and how long time it takes and how much time you must set aside every week to keep the pace up, and so all that kind of information is over here at the help menu of the website.
And please don't hesitate to contact us on whatever issue you have or questions or anything. So if you want to repeat this webinar, it will end up on our website on the webinar page tomorrow, I guess. If you want to watch it with your colleagues or whatever, that is a good way of presenting it. Thank you for today, everybody.